Attention passionate LAS, Vegas Raiders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Las Vegas Raiders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Las Vegas Raiders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and LAS, Vegas Raiders FANS. Let's get to the news. Alright folks, today we're diving into some hot off-season rumors, potential signings, and strategic moves that could really shake up the AFC West, especially for our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. The off-season is always a roller coaster, but this year, there's a buzz that's hard to ignore. We've got a player visiting the Raiders who's been making headlines, a former Pro Bowler, a guy with a lot of experience, and someone who could be a key piece in the Raiders' puzzle moving forward. That's right, we're talking about Shaquill Griffin, the former Seattle Seahawks cornerback, and he's reportedly visiting Las Vegas after already meeting with his old team, the Seahawks, earlier this offseason. Now, Griffin's situation is intriguing because it involves multiple teams, potential reunions, and a lot of strategic considerations. For those of you who remember his time in Seattle, Griffin was a crucial part of their secondary from 2017 through 2020. He was a guy who could lock down receivers, provide leadership in the secondary, and even make some big plays. Remember, he was a Pro Bowler in 2019, earning a spot as an alternate that year. That's no small feat for a cornerback in today's NFL, especially considering the competition at that position. Griffin's journey since leaving Seattle has been quite the story, bouncing around teams and trying to find consistency. Most recently, he played for the Minnesota Vikings on a one-year deal, and that stint was arguably his best after his Seahawks years. In Minnesota, Griffin proved he still had plenty of gas in the tank, recording 2 interceptions and playing a significant role in one of the NFL's top defenses. His experience, versatility, and leadership qualities make him an attractive option for teams looking to bolster their secondary without breaking the bank. But what makes this situation even more interesting is the connection with Pete Carroll, Griffin's former head coach in Seattle. Carroll, who's known for developing defensive backs and creating a strong, cohesive secondary, clearly has a good relationship with Griffin. The fact that Griffin is visiting both Seattle and Las Vegas suggests that teams see value in adding him, especially given his age. He's only 29, and the fact that he's still in his prime. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Las Vegas Raiders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now let's talk about the Raiders' current secondary situation. Las Vegas has been trying to solidify their defensive backfield for quite some time. They brought in some promising young players, like Rick Woolen and Devin Witherspoon, who have shown flashes of brilliance, but depth is still a concern. That's where a veteran like Griffin could come into play, providing not just quality depth, but also leadership and experience in high-pressure situations. Imagine the impact of a player who's been to a Pro Bowl, played under Pete Carroll's system, and knows how to communicate and read offenses at a high level. That kind of presence could be exactly what the Raiders need to take their defense to the next level. And it's not just about Griffin. The Raiders have been active in free agency, trying to address their needs on both sides of the ball. They signed Jermaine Pratt, a former Cincinnati Bengals linebacker, who is a solid addition to their linebacker core. Pratt has experience, especially in high-stakes situations, and his familiarity with the AFC North rival Bengals, including that famous interception near the goal line that helped Cincinnati reach the Super Bowl, adds a layer of intrigue to his signing. Pratt's signing shows that the Raiders are serious about shoring up their defense and building a team capable of competing at the highest levels. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. The AFC West is becoming one of the most competitive divisions in the league. The Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, are still reigning champions with a high-powered offense. But other teams like the Los Angeles Chargers and Denver Broncos are not sitting idle. The Chargers have been aggressive in free agency and the draft, trying to surround Justin Herbert with more weapons. The Broncos, on the other hand, are in a rebuild mode, looking to develop their young quarterback and build a stout defense. For the Raiders, it's clear that every move counts, and adding a guy like Griffin, if they manage to secure him, could be a game changer in their defensive scheme. The question that everyone's asking is, does Griffin see Las Vegas as the right fit? Can he bring his veteran leadership, versatility, and playmaking ability to a Raiders secondary that is hungry for stability and playmakers? The Raiders have shown in recent seasons that their identity is evolving. They're no longer just a team that relies solely on their offense. Their defense is becoming more and more of a focus. Adding a player with Griffin's experience and skill set could help them close the gap with the division leaders and maybe even challenge for a playoff spot. And speaking of playoffs, the Raiders have been knocking on that door for a while now. They've got a talented roster, a solid coaching staff led by head coach Josh McDaniels, and a fan base that's as passionate as ever. The key is consistency and smart additions. If Griffin signs with Las Vegas, he could be part of a defense that's looking to take that next step, to become a unit that opponents fear. It's about creating that identity, about establishing a secondary that can lock down receivers in critical moments, and about having that veteran presence that guides the younger players. Beyond just Griffin, the Raiders are also exploring other options in free agency and the draft. They're trying to find that perfect balance of youth and experience, players who can contribute immediately and also develop for the future. The secondary remains a priority, especially with the NFL becoming more pass-heavy every season. The addition of a proven veteran like Griffin would not only improve their immediate depth, but also send a message to the division that the Raiders are serious about competing at the highest level. Now, let's consider the strategic implications. If Griffin joins the Raiders, how would he fit into their defensive scheme? Known for his man-to-man coverage skills and ability to play zone, Griffin's versatility is a big asset. He can match up with the league's top receivers, and his experience in multiple defensive systems makes him adaptable. Under the coaching of Patrick Graham, who has a background in both 3-4 and 4-3 schemes, Griffin's skill set could be maximized, giving the Raiders a flexible secondary that can adjust to different offensive attacks. And don't forget the element of leadership. Veteran players like Griffin bring a lot more than just on-field production. They help shape the culture in the locker room, mentor younger players, and set the tone for a winning mentality. In a division as competitive as the AFC West, having that kind of leadership can be the difference between a good team and a great one. Looking ahead, the Raiders are expected to continue their aggressive pursuit of talent in the coming weeks. The draft is around the corner, and they'll be looking to add more pieces to complement their offseason signings. But the signing of Griffin, if it materializes, could be a key storyline that sets the tone for their defense in the upcoming season. It's about building that cohesive unit that can withstand the best offenses in the league and come out on top. And now, Las Vegas Raiders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential signing? Do you think Griffin is the missing piece for the secondary? How do you see him fitting into the team's defensive plans? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Raiders. Remember, your engagement helps us bring even more in-depth analysis, rumors, and updates right here for you. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Las Vegas Raiders news. The offseason is always unpredictable, but one thing is for sure, the Raiders are not sitting still. They're making moves, exploring options, and trying to put together a roster that can contend for another Super Bowl run. With players like Griffin potentially joining their ranks, and with the coaching staff working tirelessly behind the scenes, the future looks promising. The AFC West will be as fierce as ever, but the Raiders are clearly aiming to be at the top of the division once again, and perhaps even beyond. So, Raiders fans, keep that passion alive. Support your team, stay engaged, and get ready for what promises to be an exciting season ahead. The journey continues, and every move, every signing, every game will count. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon with more detailed, comprehensive coverage on everything related to the Las Vegas Raiders. Until then, stay strong, stay passionate, and let's keep that Raider Nation spirit alive.